Now, every mother dreams of bearing an able child after 9 months of pregnancy. But what do you do when your worst fears for the health of your child now becomes your new reality and you remain as their main provider and caregiver? This is what 33-year-old Elizabeth Wahome faced when she gave birth to her son with cerebral palsy and her daughter who has Down syndrome. Our reporter Dolly Murigi spent a day with Elizabeth and shares her story.
We don't know how strong we are until being strong is the only choice. When Elizabeth gave birth to her children, she had no idea they were in for a lifelong commitment to intensive care.
Wow.
Elizabeth is a mother of two. Caleb, who is aged 14, has cerebral palsy, and Adasa, aged 4, has Down syndrome. This is the life of Elizabeth, a formerly trained dressmaker who has now become a stay-home mom.
Kazi sijawahi pata kazi, siwekangi kazi. Juu kwanza sasa akiwa mkubwa hivyo, ukianza kuitaitwa nyumbani, unafutwa, ukiachia mtu, wanateseka.
Caleb's father left when he was only 3 months. He had lost hope of ever having a normal child. It was at the moment that Elizabeth knew she was on her own in the parenthood journey.
Wakati alizaliwa hakulia. So that is one sign ya mtoto amepata brain damage. Because mtoto wako supposed kulia the first 4 seconds. So yeye hakulia. So daktari akaniambia amepata brain damage. Na atamuangalia in anamuona after every 2 weeks, anamrudisha clinic. So at 2 months ndio daktari akaniambia akona cerebral palsy. So naye nilianza therapy akiwa na 3.5 months.
Caleb began moving around using a wheelchair for 2 years. At 6 years of age, she had regained his motor senses and began walking.
The boy hakuwa na matumaini yoyote ya kuishi because even the doctor had told us that itakuwa 50-50. Kuishi, kutembea, nini. And I thank God alituambia tu venye iko juu mpaka saa hizi nimeona watoto wengi wako na cerebral palsy na wengi wao bado wako kwa wheelchair. Caleb alikaa kwa wheelchair only like 1-2 years. So mzee hakuwa na hiyo nguvu ya kuvumilia. So he left when the baby was small and when we needed him most. Okay, osha hapa basi. Osha hapa.
When her daughter Hadassa was diagnosed with Down syndrome after birth, Elizabeth was more devastated. Having raised her son with cerebral palsy, she was already feeling the extra weight of the new condition.
I was angry with myself, angry with everyone, angry with God, and I felt cheated. All that. I didn't know tunaanza wapi. Okay, I had walked the journey again with Caleb, but you see the conditions are different. So I did not even know what to expect. All I know is that I was angry and frustrated and I didn't even want to go home with her. Alikuwa nataka kumwabandon kwa hosi.
The father to her daughter did not see the child after he got to hear of the condition of his daughter.
The dad alikuja kumwona hospitali. Akakuja akanikuta sina mtoto kwa ward. Akaniuliza mtoto wako wapi? So mimi nikamwambia mtoto wako nasali. Nikamwambia hoi, nikamwambia amezaliwa na condition. Amezaliwa with Down syndrome. So akaniuliza Down syndrome ni nini? Nikamwambia anguko kwa simu yake andike tu Down syndrome itakuja. Because I didn't even have strength ya kumuelezea. And so akakaa na simu yake hapo. Finally masaa ya visitors ikaisha. Akanishikisha 1000 kwa mkono. Na akaniambia ati Elizabeth, hebu fikiria sana na uchunguze ni kwa nini Mungu anakupea watoto kama hao. And that was the end of the marriage.
She was overjoyed when Hadassah finally learned to walk at 2 years and is happy with the progress she's making, albeit slow. Hadassah has since learned some life skills like feeding herself and is learning how to communicate. Elizabeth confesses that she often breaks down when overwhelmed. Initially, she was worried that her children would not live their life to the fullest, and now, with more knowledge on her children's condition, and feels encouraged.
When Hadassah was born with a condition, I had to drop him ili niweze kuafford ya Hadassah. So, hiyo ndio ilikuwa kitu yangu gumu sana maishani kuchoose. That was the worst time ya maisha yangu. Kuchoose kati ya watoto wangu ni nani anahitaji therapy more. There are times that I felt like running away, locking them in a house and leaving and never coming back. Maisha yangu imekuwa ni kama ni mimi mlemavu. And many of the times I feel like I have become a victim of their conditions. Because siishi maisha yangu tena. Ninaishi maisha ya watu watatu. Like, ni watu wenye hawatakuambia kitu ya maana. Hata ukiwauliza kitu, hakuna kitu anakuambia ina make sense. Hata ukiacha, tuseme umeacha kama kikombe hapa, it is either uikute hapo ama ukute imevunjwa. So, lazima uwafikirie wamekasirika kwa nini. Ndio wamekuja wamekasirika. Ni kwa nini wamekasirika? Lazima ufikirie walikuwa wapi, wamefanywa nini. Na saa zingine inabidi ucall mtu, walifanywa nini, so mnakosana na watu. Like umeachia mtu, watoto wamekuja wako hivi. So wewe ni kama una right hata kuuliza, hata kama umeachia mtu mtoto, Hadassah is still on diapers. Ukimwacha na ulikuwa umeacha diapers na mtoto amechomeka, hauna right hata ya kuuliza kwa nini amechomeka, kwa nini nini. Uliniachia mtoto mlemavu, ulikuwa unataka nifanye nini na wao.
For the last few months, Elizabeth has been preparing meals for the men working at the nearby construction site to make a living. However tiresome the struggle, Elizabeth says she's grateful that she's able to earn a living that can cater for family needs and especially the medication for her 2 children.
They are created in God's image, nasi wakosoi. But every day I pray that tomorrow will be better and brighter. And I have this hope that one day Mungu ataniondolea the sufferings and yeah, na atanipea maisha ya raha and na nisaidia because everyone says that my children are a blessing to me, but you know sometimes it's hard to see the blessing. Watu watakuja watakwambia maneno, but it's you living that life. Pastors will come and pray for the conditions to irreversike. And if it doesn't reverse, waku judge, hauna faith. But I know that some things it's only God and God alone. We cannot force them.
Through the help of CITAM missions under Christ is the Answer Ministry CITAM, Elizabeth can afford a smile. Her son Caleb has a full education sponsorship. She was also gifted with a sewing machine and intends to open a business soon.
I bless this lady, I bless her son, I bless her daughter, I pray that Father, their house is blessed.
People with Down syndrome often share physical features like flat face, slanted eyes, a single crease across the palm, short stature, small ears, hands and feet, poor muscle tone or loose joints.
The relationship between Down syndrome and cerebral palsy is that children who have Down syndrome are highly likely to get features of cerebral palsy, but not the other way around. So we believe in patient-centered care.
Unlike Down syndrome, cerebral palsy doesn't necessarily cause distinct physical features. It's predominantly affect muscle tone. Up to 80% of individuals with cerebral palsy experience high muscle tone hypotonia, while the remaining 20% experience low muscle tone hypotonia or fluctuations between the two.
It does cause limitation of a lot of functions like movement, sometimes depending on the severity of the brain injury. So limitation of movements, function, disruption of posture, yeah, and therefore early interventions are very, very key once the symptoms are seen or detected earlier, so that we can have better quality of life or improved function for these children.
Both cerebral palsy and Down syndrome are lifelong conditions that can be effectively managed to promote an active and fulfilling life. Because both conditions affect individuals so early in life, seeking early management will ensure that children get the right support for their physical and cognitive needs.
At the end of the day, the family has to be equipped with the necessary skills to help this kid to thrive. That means one thing: therapy is a continuous journey. It doesn't just stop in the therapy room. It goes all the way on the road back home, and even at home, in church, everywhere.
For children with either cerebral palsy or Down syndrome, physical therapy will focus on regulating muscle tone for optimal functioning and improving mobility.
I look at early intervention as very important, working with a big team, which includes occupational therapy, speech therapist, a counselor, so that the family can be guided on how to support these children early. We also have neurosurgeons who are in this country who are very enthusiastic about helping reduce pain, what we call the spasticity, by giving some sort of interventions where, for example, a child can reduce that stiffness early, and then that we call it intrathecal baclofen, where we sort of medication is injected into the spinal fluid so that it reduces that stiffness.
A speech therapist has a role to play in the development of language skills. An occupational therapist has a role to play when it comes to issues to do with activities of daily living, commonly referred to as ADLs. That is feeding themselves, going to the shower, going to the loo, to the toilet per se, and even when it comes to issues to do with writing at the time of going to school. At the same time, you'll need also a special needs teacher who is going again to work with these kids in line with their education plans.
All is not lost for children with special conditions like Down syndrome and CP, as research shows that with therapy and medication, they too can live normal lives like any other child in the society if only they are given the chance. Dodi Mirigimbovi for Hope TV.